Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvaldo Grim here, and today we are going to take a look at a tier list for teams for solo raids. A few things to keep in mind. First of all, I would really appreciate a subscription or something, or like or something, because this video took a very long time to make, and for two reasons. One, I'm dumb, and two, I suck at Photoshop. And while that is not a fault of yours, I would really appreciate your support. And before getting into this tier list, we need to take a look at a few criterias. First of all, I have tried to not really consider so far the Apocalypse artifacts, because there are very few people that have them, and this will not be relatable to many people if I do consider them. Though keep in mind that I will update this list in the future, in a few weeks or something, or in a month or something, when everybody gets, almost everybody gets Apocalypse artifacts, and we can rate it that way. Or I'll do a totally separate one where I rate the teams considering the use of Apocalypse artifacts. And while going through this list, I will mention some teams if they would have scored much higher if they used Apocalypse artifacts. Other than that, those are the teams that are going to be used. If something is not on this list, you are most likely better off not using it. But if you are a new player and don't have those characters, just don't worry about it. Throw enough teams at them and they will die. And get yourself a King of Titans Aquaman as soon as possible. So with all that being said, this is my personal opinion, but it's based on pretty much watching a buttload of videos of solo raids on YouTube. I am not the best player in the game, and I wholeheartedly admit that, so this will be the conclusion drawn by other people playing at peak performance. So with all that being said, like this if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have. Maybe subscribe for more content like this, maybe hit that bell button, and let's get into it! But before we get into the video, keep in mind that the footage was provided by Redblade, so make sure you go ahead and check his channel out. He's a pretty cool dude with a lot of cool uploads, so definitely check the channel out and subscribe to him. Links will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Also footage from King Neil will be present, so yeah, same deal as with Redblade, pretty cool guy, very cool gameplay, and you should definitely go ahead and subscribe, links in the pinned comment and in the description. And thank you for supporting those guys, because by supporting them you are also supporting my channel indirectly. Okay, so first of all, starting off with the D tier. Those are teams that you could use if they are the only teams that you have built, but they are not very recommended to be used. First of all, we'll have Predator, Batman, Dr. Fate and Silver Banshee team. This team is going to not be a very good team because of a few reasons. First of all, Silver Banshee is going to perform amazingly in normal raids against Dr. Fate, because over there she has an established role, an established thing to do. But solo raids are so unpredictable, they have so many variables, and you can't simply rely on the Silver Banshee gameplay to work every time. Secondly, she does not score the highest damages in the game. And thirdly, not many people are using this team. Maybe in the future, maybe she will have some good combos with the artifacts, maybe people will start using her more, but until then she will be D tier, unfortunately. Yet again, this is a character that could skyrocket to the higher tiers if we consider some uses of the new artifacts, but there's not enough data for now to consider that. And then we're going to have a Black Adam team, which is also going to score into D tier for two reasons. First of all, it's going to be yet again a team that relies on tagging in, and tagging in does not work very well in this game. It's going to not be that much of a versatile team as much as you would need in solo raids, and Black Adam, if he's put in a situation where he can't tag out or he gets penalized for tagging in and out, then he's going to be total crap. And while this might have some uses, it's not going to be a good solo raids team. With all that being said, let's get into the C tier. Coming up in the C tier, we are going to have a lot of teams, and we are going to have two kinds of teams. We're going to have teams that will perform averagely, and we will have teams that will perform amazingly, but only in specific situations. So if you see King of Titans Aquaman team or Black Manta team or League of Anarchy team over here, please do not panic, because they will be in the higher tiers, but with better team compositions. So First up, we are going to have the League of Anarchy team, like the full League of Anarchy team for the maybe first time seen in raids actually working. And this is going to be for the purpose of defeating the boss in tier 4, which will be the Joker boss, because the Joker boss will stun you on tagging, and this team will be able to provide you with Stun Reflect from Heartbreaker Harlequin. This is going to be the only purpose of this team. In other game mods, you are in other scenarios and in other fights, you are much better off using other teams. Next up in the C tier, we will have Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd, King of Titan Aquaman, and Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd and King of Titan Aquaman are going to be teams that you will see very often on this list. And the third member, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, again is for the very specific reason of countering the stunts against Boss Joker. This team is going to do amazing while fighting that, but you have no reason to use it in other places, so that is why it's scored only all the way over here. And yeah, if you're asking why the C tier is stretched onto lines, yet again I mentioned at the start of the video, I suck at Photoshop. I'm sorry, okay? Next up is the John Stewart Green Lantern with King of Titan Aquaman and with Dr. Fate team. This is going to suck in most scenarios. This is going to be a team used for beginners to defeat the boss Green Lantern, and instead of Dr. Fate you could put Shazam over there, so that will also perform decently, though another team that we'll talk about later on will perform much better at that. But if you don't have Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd, little bit of a spoiler, you can use Green Lantern instead of that and Dr. Fate. But this is not going to be the most optimal team. It's going to be a niche team for players to get through that phase. Maybe this was worthy of D tier actually, but I'll leave it there because I'm too lazy to edit it. Next up in C tier will be the Justice League team. I only included with the Cyborg, the Justice League Flash, and the Superman variant. You could swap out Superman for Justice League Aquaman at your own risk, but that might kill you because yet again taggings are unreliable, and having that defense boost from Superman is going to be amazingly useful. This team is good at punching through shields in the tier 3 sub-bosses, but other than that simply does not do the damage to compete with the others. Next up, again, exactly same reason, we have the Multiverse team. Multiverse Armor Supergirl and Multiverse Flash and the Shazam. Usually the Shazam would be a better team if you use it in normal raids too, but people are using usually Red Hood because Shazam is needed elsewhere. Over here we don't have that limitation, so we can use Red Hood, we can use our Shazam anywhere and so many times. So he will be replacing Red Hood in this team, and this team will be the exact same purpose of the Justice League team. Will be punching through reflect shields because they have reflect immunity from Multiverse Armored Supergirl Special 3. But other than that, they are not a bad team, but they simply don't stack up enough damage to compete with the others on this list. And finally, in the C tier, we have one of the best teams when it comes to beating Boss Darkseid. As you might have seen so far, Boss Darkseid is going to have some sort of a thing where when he uses a super move, the character that is over there, he will die. So this is going to be the phase for Manta team with Ace Green Arrow in order to block his super move. So this team will be very great at that, but it will not be amazing in other places. So that is why it is only C tier. But Black Manta and Brainiac will go very high on this list, so don't worry about it. They will just leave Green Arrow behind in C tier. So with all that being said, it's going to be C tier. Those are not bad teams, those are needed teams, but they are needed for a very specific purpose. They are not good teams in general, they are teams that are good in some very specific situations. So with all that being said, let's move on to the B tier. Coming on to the B tier, we have the first thing that we need to talk about, and is the League of Anarchy team. And yes, the King of Raids has fallen. Last of the Joker is going to only be B tier because of a few factors. And before getting into this, the main actually let's get into this first. His main problem with this team is going to be the tag-ins. Like this team is going to struggle with tag-ins even in normal raids, and over here tag-ins for them are going to be a nightmare, first of all. And secondly, Last Left the Joker will deal so much damage in normal raids because he's going to usually fight Gorilla Grodd and Brainiac. Those two characters are going to have minions, and those minions are going to tremendously boost the attack at Last Left the Joker. And without that boost, his performance in seems to be a little bit lackluster, to be honest. And secondly, it's yet again the very annoying tagging. If you have this team built and you have no other, definitely go for it. It's going to be still a solid team, but you'll need to be much more careful when using it, and you will not deal as much damage as you're used to. Next up, coming on to the B tier, will be the Shazam, Dr. Fate, King of Clans Aquaman. This is going to be the OG team for raids, but for solo raids it's not going to be the case because both of the characters except King of Clans Aquaman will be replaced, as you will see in the future, because there is a much better fit for King of Clans Aquaman. There are a lot of teams that have changed a lot their composition, because right now you are not limited to using characters. So before, for example, you would not use Batman Ninja Gorlagrodd with King of Clans Aquaman because you needed to use him with the Batman Ninja team. But now you can use your same team with limitless options, so some things have changed. This team will be a very solid team still. You can get through the whole solo raids more or less with this team as well, but it will simply not perform as good as other teams on this list will perform. Though a very solid team, definitely feel free to use it. And next up we will have the Batman Ninja team. The main problem of this team is yet again going to be not dealing that much damage compared to the other teams that are going to be scored above this. But the thing that really sets them apart from the other stuff is going to be the amazing survivability that they are going to have. And they can pretty much survive any fight because of the Batman Ninja Catwoman passive and because of the healing that they've got. So the Batman Ninja team is going to still definitely be a solid team that you can use. It's just not going to perform as amazingly as you are used to, because the bosses are going to have so much more health, and right now it's really an accent being put on the how much damage you are going to deal in one pip. So with all that being said, this is going to be the B tier. All those teams are great to be used in solo raids, but they just did not score high enough. Oh, and a little bit of a mention, these teams like the League of Anarchy team with Leslie of the Joker, Poison Ivy and Flash could skyrocket all the way to the S tier if we consider artifacts, because having an artifact on Last of the Joker, a new artifact on Last of the Joker instead of the usual All Blades, will tremendously increase his performance, and it will remove his biggest weakness, which is tagging in and out. So yeah, we will have to wait and see about that. It's too early to consider the Apocalypse artifacts, but this team might skyrocket all the way to the S tier. With all that being said, let's get into the A tier. Coming up in the A tier, we will have Batman Ninja Gorlagrodd, Shazam and King of Clans Aquaman. And yes, this is still not the most optimal setup for King of Clans Aquaman. We'll get into that when you get to the S tier. This setup is going to be pretty good, but the problem with this setup is going to be only the fact that Shazam will only buff King of Clans Aquaman. Other than that, it's going to be an amazing team. Batman Ninja Gorlagrodd is going to be the best combo builder in the game. Period. He's going to decrease the defense of the sub-boss, he's going to add energy, you take King of Clans Aquaman, you do your thing, and it's all going to be fine. This team will perform amazingly for you, but in the S tier we will have the exact same team almost, but with a little bit of a variation which will favor both King of Clans Aquaman and Batman Ninja Gorlagrodd. And the other team in the A tier will be the Heartbreaker, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy and Dr. Fate team. This is going to be used against sub-bosses that don't have stun resistance, and this is going to be very reliant on having a new artifact. A little bit. I say that I will not consider this. You can still use this team with the All Blades, but the thing is, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is going to have a stun herself, and that way she's not going to need Arkham Knight Batman to facilitate that stun. We'll still have the team with Arkham Knight Batman. It's coming up, a little bit of a spoiler. So compared to that team, the upside of this team is that you have a little bit of a higher damage potential while using Heartbreaker Harley Quinn and Dr. Fate, but your characters are not going to be as strong, especially actually technically Poison Ivy doesn't get buffed by Arkham Knight Batman, but Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is not going to be as hard to kill as if she was in the same team with Arkham Knight Batman. So that is also a thing to consider. Not sure about putting this team into A tier, maybe you should downgrade it all the way to B tier, but I have seen some impressive stuff with this. Yet again, this list is not permanent and I will change it in some time. And this was everything for the A tier. With all that being said, those teams are going to perform amazing for you, and both of the teams are going to be present in S tier. Those are in A tier because they are simply not in the most optimal form of that team in my opinion. Now let's get into the S tier. Coming into the S tier, we'll start up with the Black Manta team, which will be composed of Black Manta, Justice League the Flash, and Brainiac. This team is going to perform amazingly for you simply because of the versatility and the survivability of Black Manta. Black Manta is going to be okay against anything that you are able to throw at him. He's going to be very durable, he's going to have a very high survivability because of himself and because of the Brainiac buffs. He's going to be able to dish high amounts of damage in any situation pretty much, and it's going to be such a versatile and such a good team. So if you have this team, you can straight up play the soul raids from the first fight to the last fight using this, except for Darkseid. With Darkseid you might want to add Ace Green Arrow, as we have specified earlier on in this video. This team is going to be simply great. Next up, we will have, in my opinion, the best team for solo raids out of all of them. Will be composed of Batman, Ninja, Gorilla Grodd, King's Lance, Aquaman, and Justice League the Flash. And compared to the other teams that we have mentioned containing King's Lance, Aquaman, this is the optimal setup because of the fact that Justice League the Flash, unlike Shazam, will benefit both of them, because a build Batman and Gorilla Grodd and a build King's Lance, Aquaman will both have fast attack. And Justice League the Flash is going to benefit both of them by adding an additional fast attack hits on all their fast attack. So this is going to be the peak performance King's Lance Aquaman team. If you don't have Batman, Ninja, Gorilla Grodd, you are going to have to downgrade all the way down to the B tier. But if you have Batman, Ninja, Gorilla Grodd, then definitely do this. He's going to be an amazing combo builder for you. He's going to do amazing stuff. He's going to have an infinite combo. He's going to reduce the defense, and he's going to get buffed by Justice League the Flash. This is peak performance over here. And last team in the S tier will be the classical Heartbreaker Harley Quinn team with Arkham Knight Batman, with Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, and with Entangling Poison Ivy. This is going to be yet again a very versatile team. You can use this almost in any place, because even if the characters that you're fighting are immune to stun, Batman has a chance to stun them anyway. Batman will provide some survivability for the other characters, and you don't even need that survivability, because in soul raids one of the problems is tag-ins, but you will always be able to tag in on a stunned target. So this was pretty much the tier list that I had coming up for you. Now let's take a larger look at it and let's discuss it a little bit. Yeah, this is the whole tier list. Yeah, it's written C two times. Like, I'm ashamed myself of my photoshopping skills. Let's get over it. So this tier list is only based on what I have seen so far. I will definitely make updates on it. I will maybe update it on your feedback. I will definitely make updates on it or make a separate one considering the new Apocalypse artifacts. There might be some changes. Maybe the Heartbreaker Harley Quinn with Dr. Fate team needed downgrading to B tier, as I have noticed while making this video, but the teams in the S tier will definitely be great teams for you, and any team from S to B tier will perform amazingly for you in solo raids. So this is basically my opinion. Hit me down in the comments, tell me what you think about this. We will have a discussion about this, I'm all for that. I have made previously a tier list for all characters in Injustice Mobile, though I haven't considered solo raids in it because it's an Aurora. I have considered raids, Arena, and Champions Arena. Maybe we'll upgrade that, though it doesn't really need upgrading in terms of solo raids, so maybe check that one out. And I have made an update on that one based on your guys' feedback, so I would really appreciate some feedback again, and maybe we can make this list together better. With all that being said, like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have, maybe subscribe for more content like this, and maybe hit that bell button to get notified for every single upload. This was Sigvaldo Grim, and I'll see you